This show is produced by the Hartman Media Company. For more information and links to all our great podcasts, visit hartmanmedia.com.
Welcome to the AIPIS show for accredited income property investment specialists and those who aspire to be. If you're a real estate, mortgage, or financial professional, this is the place for you. We'll explore innovative investment analysis, sales, marketing, and income-generating strategies for the most historically proven wealth creator, income property. Learn from the experts as they show you how to build a better business and a better life.
It's my pleasure to welcome Jeb Carty. He is the founder of, or the co-founder, I guess, of Zumbly, and this is an internet product that does investment property analysis currently in two markets, LA and Chicago. Came out of his frustration for analyzing deals and looking at properties. Sounds familiar to me, as you know. So we're going to dive in and see what Zumbly is all about today. If you're watching on the YouTube channel, you can see the video of this. Let's go ahead and dive in. Welcome. Where are you coming to us? You're in Santa Monica, right?
Yes, Santa Monica, California.
Fantastic. My old hometown.
Well, welcome to Zumbly, first of all. And so I'm going to give you a brief overview of how it works. So Zumbly, as you can see, looks like your typical consumer-facing MLS from the very beginning. But we have a huge spin on it, and that is that we let you search by returns at scale. And what that means is that we give you the ability to search by ROI based on a traditional one-year lease long-term, as well as short-term in the sense of what the property could make on a site like Airbnb.
Okay, so the first question has to be, how do you get the rental data? This is a feed from the MLS, I'm guessing, right? It's just an IDX feed, right?
Yes.
Okay, and so how do you get the rental data? What engine are you using for that? And then I guess Zumbly is just porting in its own rental data. And of course, that's an estimate, obviously, right?
Yes. So what we do is we've actually worked with a company in New York City called Reese. And what they've done is they've collected the data on 1 to 4 unit apartment complexes all over the United States for the past 40 years. So they get the actual current going rates. We're not looking at past historical. We're looking at the actual rates. And then what we do is we take that and we have a few different data scientists that we work with. The good part is that just being in Los Angeles and Chicago, where we've enabled ourselves to, as they say, nail before you scale. So we've really had them, go through and look and see what needs to be adjusted in different areas.
Okay. So what do you do? Someone comes here and they're at the website. What do they do first? Take us through the steps.
First of all, as you would with any search platform, you would go by price. You would enter what you're looking for, the beds, the baths, what property types, and then you can search obviously an area as well. And Zumbly is going to take you wherever that map view is. It's going to show you the best ROI in descending order. And we do this by attaching what we call the Zumbly home score to each individual property. And that is based off of the net income. So in LA, there's about 25,000 active listings. We take those 25,000 net incomes and put them on a scale between 0 to 10. And that's when, wherever you focus the map, you will instantly get, in descending order on the left side of the screen here, the best returning ones.
Okay. So these are properties with that data already right here?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And right now we are actually searching by short-term returns. So we're not looking at long-term right now. Okay.
So the short-term rental data is even harder to get than the long-term rental data. Would you agree?
Yes. There are only a few sources out there. As tech progresses, these sources will become more open source. Right now, we get the API from a company called AirDNA.
Yeah, we have them on the show. Yeah, we know AirDNA. So this first one, now the one problem I'd say is you're in two rental markets that just don't really cash flow very well at all because the properties are too expensive. If you were in Indianapolis or Memphis, these numbers would probably look fantastic. But whatever, the point is the concept, right? So this is a $415,000 property. Mm-hmm. And the net income is a monthly number?
Yes, that is a monthly number. We also give you the daily rate as well, and we give you the ability to adjust everything.
And how do you determine net income? Explain that monthly net income number, what that really means.
So if you look at this, here is your gross, And then we take in your mortgage based upon a traditional, 20% down payment. We have an API that brings in the rate every single day.
Okay.
So we subtract your mortgage as well as your property tax, HOA if applicable, and your insurance, and that's what brings you to this number right here. Everything is changeable. Like, I thought the insurance
would
be 150.
Sure, and you can change it. Okay, that's great. I mean, the property tax data, where is that coming from? Because that's notoriously wrong. Yeah, where are you getting that from?
All of this comes directly from the MLS.
So you're relying on the MLS agent to have put that in properly, and that's probably the old data, not the reassessed data on the property taxes. So be careful that one. So it's good that you can change it. Okay, that's great. Is net income the same as NOI, net operating income? No, you've got the mortgage in here, right?
Yes.
So this is a short-term rental. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, let's look at long-term.
Okay, so I'm going to switch this over to long-term. And as you can see, like you talked about in terms of, not being a good value, as you can see, the other property was a 10 with short-term, and with long-term, it's a 6.
Okay.
Meaning that, this is the monthly return you can get. And the cool part is, like I said earlier, you can adjust everything. So if I start sliding this up, you're going to see that Zumbly home score going up because
Right.
This is weighed against everything else. Of course, you can reset it. And this is, based upon the same thing, your expenses and your mortgage as well.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. And how about contacting the listing agent? Is that data in here?
Yes. So as of right now, you can request info. We will eventually, we've talked about selling leads. As of right now, this is something that goes directly to the listing agent.
Okay. So, it's got your email address. So click on request info again, will you?
Yes. This is all my personal information right here.
Right.
Because I'm logged in to mine,
Sure.
so we pre-populate that.
But do you know who the listing agent is? I mean, agents are notoriously, they don't answer their email, they don't return calls.
This is the broker, and that's their number, as well as the agent right there.
Okay. All right. Fantastic. What else do you want people to know about this?
We're expanding into 10 other cities after we raise our round, and we are about to employ our premium features, which will be the first way in which we're monetizing.
Premium features are interesting, and monetization is interesting too.
We're on staging right now. So every website's built on a staging site. It then gets pushed live. So these features are almost complete. I can't show you them, but for instance, we have heat maps that you will be able to search for, all these things. We're going to add in a whole bunch of other things. And of course, heat maps gives the user the ability to, if they don't know the market, to kind of understand it. Like price per square foot, you're going to see is really hot in Santa Monica and Beverly Hills compared to the rest of the areas. So this is for overall education. One of the cool parts that we're doing that nobody else has done is motivated seller. And so we have a couple of different rules baked in. So one of them is, if there's a price reduction within 10 days. And if we consider that person motivated, these property dots on the map are going to blink. They're going to pulse.
So price reduction, you mean like within 10 days ago, right?
Within 10 days of listing the property on the MLS.
Oh, you mean an immediate price reduction. So only one time and it just calls them motivated? If they list the property, reduce the price in 10 days, the algorithm says they're motivated.
That's one of a bunch of them.
Okay.
That's one of a few. But yes, if you do lower it within 10 days, yes, that will consider that person motivated.
Right. So go ahead. The other tools.
Okay, so this will show you the cheapest price per square foot per zip code. What's cool about these features that we're doing is this enables the greenest investor, the brand new person, to help you find the best deals as if you were, you've been in this industry for years. Just by the nature of them, like I'll show you, cheaper to buy than rent. So what you'll do is you would punch in what you'd like to afford, and what you would like your monthly payment to be. And we're not only going to show you properties that you can afford to buy, but we're going to show you the ones that if you were to rent those, the landlord would be making money off of you instead of, the rent would be higher than what your all-in expenses would be to own it.
Interesting. Yeah, just based on all-in expenses, it's not that simple, of course. But
yeah.
Okay, yeah. So it's for homeowners or renters too, then, not just for investors.
Yes. Okay, so the biggest thing that we discovered was we were originally an only investor platform. Then we dipped into the everything home market because we noticed that Millennials and Gen Z, and this is probably the biggest thing that you can take away from me from this, is that they are looking for a different way of buying, between the housing crisis, which they saw and how that devastated America, with all the student loan debt that they're in, with all the different ways to make money these days that you couldn't before, like, for instance, Wag, you can go and walk a stranger's dog and make money. You can do Uber. They're looking to see what their property can make for them. And so that's where the whole short-term investment property or Airbnb investment properties are becoming more and more popular, because this gives you a hybrid model. Like, okay, I can live in my house, and if I find my home on Zumbly, I know that I could put it on Airbnb and that'll pay for my vacation to Spain, or it could just help me build a bank account or whatever. You know, they want to be financially stable. The new American dream, I mean, the old American dream's dead. The new American dream is your dream, what you want to do.
Yeah, okay.
So we have the investor side as well as...
Got to ask you about that, though. On the short-term rental component, does that take into account whether or not short-term rentals are legal in that area and the occupancy rate? I see that you've got that on your screen, but when you pull the AirDNA data, I see that you had a nightly rental rate. But of course, that can be very seasonal, and occupancy varies greatly. So what about those complications?
Well, we do pull from AirDNA quite frequently. So we get more and more updated data on where the area that they're in. You know, obviously Christmas time, holidays, 4th of July is a big one. So it does change. But in terms of legally, we don't do that because we do not want to disclude any areas. I mean, in the city, you know, West Hollywood, you know, in Santa Monica, it is illegal. People do it anyway. So we want to give people that option, even though it's technically, you know, they can't, you know.
So they got to be careful, because they can't just look at this and think, oh, this would make a great short-term rental, because they might be fined or just totally shut down by the local authorities, right? So, you know.
Exactly. I mean, that is something that we've talked about. Incorporating in the future. So this is probably, of course, you can search by cash on cash. Right now, this is not working. This is being built out. But what we're going to do is it's just going to be like all the other features, where what we're going to do is with cash on cash is we're going to take those 25,000 active listings, and it's going to be on a sliding scale where it's going to be the lowest cash on cash and the highest. So all you have to do is drag that slider all the way up to the top, and you'll get to the best cash on cash return properties. And then same with cash flow positive. This is just a button that you hit if you only want to see properties that have a net income of 0+. Short-term occupancy, this is something that is obviously pretty self-explanatory. Gross rent multiplier works the same way. My favorite feature of all these is definitely net income. Because, again, what you're going to see is the complete bottom end of these 25,000 properties, as well as the complete top end. And this gives you the ability to see all those crunch numbers on a slider.
That can be misleading, though, because it depends on the price of the property. The net income is going to vary.
Yes, we do. But what we also do
I would think cash on cash return is the best, but go ahead. Sorry.
Yes. Well, this is, I mean, see, you're an investor, and that's something that you would be used to. As a first-time home buyer, you're probably not going to be too familiar with that. So that's why we've incorporated stuff like net income, and you could just drag it all the way up if you want to see that. But what we also have done is we baked rules into this where we show you the ones that have, you know, that net income or higher, but they're also listed here in terms of most affordable as well. So we bring in the affordability. On Zumbly, we have a lot more users in the Chicago area as opposed to LA. We do best in areas where you can buy, you know, a 3-bedroom single family home for under $400,000. In LA, I mean, for those of you who aren't familiar with that, I mean, the least expensive thing you can buy in Santa Monica right now is probably $550,000 for a studio.
Yeah. You know, interestingly, you're in a market that doesn't make much sense for investing, you know, so that it's sort of interesting. Like, I can't wait till you said you're going to open up in 10 more markets soon. Which ones?
We will be in Atlanta, Vegas, Dallas, Philly, Washington, D.C., Phoenix, Atlanta, Kansas City, Columbus, as well as Orlando. We're also going to be in Australia, in Sydney and Melbourne.
Oh, interesting. They don't really have a very good MLS. Like when I travel, I've been to 83 countries now, and the data around the world is just terrible compared to the U.S.
We will be the MLS there, essentially.
Yeah.
There are other people on there. There are other, you know, MLS portals like this, but what they do, their model is not, you know, sell leads or traffic, whatever. their model is to charge the listing agent to put their listing on that website. We're going to come in for free.
Yeah.
And so there should be no reason why every realtor wouldn't want to opt in and put their property on Zumbly AU.
Sure. Interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting. Anything else you want people to know?
No. I mean, I just wanted to let everybody know that we are launching new features, and that's pretty much it.
Good stuff. Jeb Carty, thanks for joining us, and good luck with your startup.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for listening. Please be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss any episodes. Be sure to check out the show's specific website and our general website, hartmanmedia.com, for appropriate disclaimers and terms of service. Remember that guest opinions are their own, and if you require specific legal or tax advice or advice in any other specialized area, please consult an appropriate professional. And we also very much appreciate you reviewing the show. Please go to iTunes or Stitcher Radio or whatever platform you're using and write a review for the show. We would very much appreciate that. And be sure to make it official and subscribe so you do not miss any episodes. We look forward to seeing you on the next episode.